Hello and welcome. Welcome to another edition of CPR's Clubhouse Live. My name is CPR Jose Ortiz, and I'm being joined by Jenaro. Jenaro, thank you so much for joining me right here on CPR's Clubhouse Live. We got to talk about this new song, Don't Talk to Me, available right now on all your favorite digital distribution sites. We have to talk about it because this is a type of song that you don't get until you listen to it over and over again, and then something kicks in. And then you realize the story that you're telling.
Right.
And Nick Cologne, he inboxed me, and he was talking about how brilliant the song was. And I'm like, let me check it out. Let me listen to it. And I'm sitting here listening to it over and over again, and I'm like, wow. And so it's like I gotta talk to him about "Don't Talk to Me" because there's a lot of things to talk about and break down in the song. But before we get started. Are you over being called Jenaro or Jay, formerly from Pain? Are you over that already?
No. I'm always gonna be Jay from Pain or Jenaro from Pain. I mean, it's part of my history, my legacy, for lack of a better word. And I'm proud of those contributions that I made to this little genre of freestyle. So I don't have any negative connotations being Jenaro from Pain.
And what about the impact that you've made? Because Pain did make an impact, whether it be small, medium, or large impact. You guys made an impact. Do you think that with the time that has passed, that has decreased in value over the years because of the way that the IFC, the Internet Freestyle community, is now?
I won't just say it's the freestyle community. I say the world at large today is very uh forgetful and moves on to the next thing very, very quickly. So I won't just say that that's a freestyle thing. Um does it sting a little bit sometimes? Yeah, because I know 15 years ago I was leading this the freestyle resurgence, the charge. It was the Pain.
A few weeks ago on social media, I saw that somebody was like questioning who was Joy Gardner, and I just sat back and I'm like, "What?" I said, "Are you kidding?" You're questioning who is Joy Gardner, but that's not part of the subject. But I just know that the history of our music is being rewritten before our eyes.
Oh yeah,
with a lot of false information. So
oh yes,
it really does scare me.
yeah, it does. Yeah, because it's funny, but yeah, our impact, or however you worded it, it's diminished is, I guess, the right word, because there was a time I referred to us as your favorite freestyle singers.
Yeah.
There was a time that's who we were. It was like, everybody who was somebody was, yo, you got to check out this group Pain, this group Pain, this Pain. And, that was a beautiful thing, considering, we had been around since 94.
Yeah.
But, come 2009, 2010 is like when we really like on everybody's radar and everybody's lips. And again, not to, toot my own horn, because again, it was the Pain machine. It was both of us who contributed something to that. But I always give myself a lot of credit, because I was the lightning rod, so to speak. I was the one that, put the batteries in our backs and, led the charge. And, I conceptualized and thought out things and sought out people and made connections and did all those kind of things. So, but like I said, we did something great in this genre, and I'll forever be proud of that.
Yeah. To have you your names be mentioned here in New England by our top dogs, by our top freestyle groups. I know that Vocal Image, Fred Nice, Angel and Julio Mena, On Point, Touch of Quality, and any group here, it was always a lot of love for Pain, especially because you guys wrote your feelings in song.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Don't Talk to Me. Before we really get into Don't Talk to Me, I have one additional question is, do you think that people now, the freestyle community, appreciate songs that tell a story? Because I remember back last January, there was a song by Rudy Fausto, and it was a 3-part
Amazing.
story, right?
Amazing.
It was a 3-part story, and for some reason, even though it was a great 3-part story, it was diminished because of the fact that it was a 3-part story, and it wasn't the typical freestyle song. So now we fast forward to January of 2022, now February, and Don't Talk to Me has been released. And do you feel that you're in a similar position?
Yes, but I kind of knew that going into it. I mean, not just from observing Rudy. I just know that songs like this, they need to be championed by people before they really catch, because like you said, it's one of those things you listen to it once and maybe you're not really catching the vibe or catching the intricacies of what's going on, but later it kind of builds a fire. But I knew it wasn't that hardcore traditional thing that a lot of people in our genre look for. So I knew that already, even when I did the original version, which I thought was, from my own ears, I thought was beautiful. I know you didn't take to the original version too much. You didn't like that one. And then but I sought out D Mike to do a different version because I
Yes.
wanted to get something that still maybe could bridge that freestyle feel a little more, but also play into my pop sensibilities and how I do things. And I thought we had a happy collaboration with that.
I think that D Mike is an amazing remixer because he touches into pop and he touches into mainstream music and then makes it freestyle. So
Yes.
he circles back, and for him to be so far away in a corner of the world where he's like this gem, just waiting for these opportunities to make songs greater than they really are, or make them even greater than they already are. It's a situation where I heard the original Don't Talk to Me,
Yes.
and I heard his version, and I'm listening to it over and over again because I like to do that. And because Nick Cologne, like I said, he inboxed me. He was like, how do you feel about Jenaro's song? It's amazing. It's great. I mean, he was just talking about it, and I'm like, Nick Cologne is a word guy. He's a
Oh yeah.
story
Oh
guy,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me go listen to the story, and I'm listening to the story, and I'm like, wow. And I wrote notes down for
Okay.
your episode, and I invited you on social media to come and talk about this song because I want to break it down because sometimes that's what is needed for people to appreciate the song. So
Yeah.
let's just get into it. You were talking briefly off camera about Ralph Federici and
Yes.
how you recorded the original version there and how he had to listen to it multiple times to realize what the song was about. So let's talk about the song. Let's start breaking it down.
Okay.
Tell us what the song is about.
It's I guess autobiographical as much as you can condense into about just under 5 minutes. It's kind of talking about my musical life and journey with pain, and some of my dealings with my partner, that the friendship, relationship, brotherhood that we had. So that's kind of what it's about. And I wrote it in a way I kind of wanted to take people on the journey through the different phases of what I was dealing with. But I also wrote it so anyone who listens to it, they can take it as a relationship. It doesn't necessarily, if you listen to it, you're not going to, I mean, maybe now some people might, oh, that's a Jenaro story.
Right.
But I still wrote it in a way that people can take that and apply their own life experiences to, that. And, when you give me more notes, I'll explain how that works in both ways.
So I typically don't like songs that start with, I had a dream or once upon a time.
Or once upon a time.
Yeah. But this one.
And I don't either, just to be fair.
And this one is special, though, because when you say once upon a time I had a dream, I'm listening to it and you're talking about you collectively as a group, you had a dream about making it and going on this journey together as a team, as a group, to conquer the world as a group. But again, you can also take it as you had a dream about a relationship.
Yeah.
But it clicked to me. And you talk about you and your partner against the world. And there's a part in there where you say you're destined for failure. And then you talked about being fire and ice. And then that's when, for me, everything was like,
that was when it clicked. Okay.
yes.
Yeah. So I say, once upon a time, I had a dream, you and me against the world. That's how it seemed, wishing for greatness. And we straddled the line because for me, we made a lot of big, successes, and, we covered a lot of ground, and we got to some pretty good highs, as Pain, but then I say, but we were destined for failure because we were fire and ice. And people will say, oh yeah, fire and ice doesn't mix. But also, before we were Pain, once back long time ago, we were fire and ice.
That was the name of the group.
That was the name of our group.
Together, but and I also remember you being celebrated at the Winter Music Conferences. So I do see that you guys straddled the line on becoming like this mainstream act, and there were opportunities that could have presented themselves at that time, but for some reason it just didn't happen for you. So it was that the group Pain was on the cusp of greatness, of being mentioned in the same same level as a TKA or a Clear Touch or something that's next level.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I got it automatically. There was mentioned previously on other parts of the CPR's Clubhouse Live, where you've been a part of this show, where you mentioned Fire and Ice, and that being the original name. But you also have made some remarks, during those conversations that I always wanted to edit out because I didn't want it to make it seem like we wanted to be incendiary during the show, and I wanted to promote your music instead of any other thing. But breaking this down in your journey, I could talk about it in this manner because it's your journey, it's your thoughts, it's what you saw yourself doing and what really happened. And the brilliance of the song is the fact that breaking it down word by word, sentence by sentence, it paints a picture. So I'm there with you. I'm there with you. But then the song takes a turn, and you talk about the other person or the other members or member, being selfish and saying that you feeling like you were worthless or being called worthless. Were you actually called or made to feel like you were worthless?
Oh yeah, I mean, and I've dealt with that even long after establishing myself. It's still always been this thing of comparisons, because when you get into groups and like you use your the Marty Jannetty and the Shawn Michaels reference, you always get that, and sometimes people they think they know something and they don't really know, and it's a lot of the, oh, you don't need so and so, or you could be better off by yourself, or you could do, and I'll be complete. I won't say names because we're not that type of people, and we're not going to do that. But there's people who I know who, outside of my presence, have literally trashed me in a way that's like just unforgiving. Like, they're relentless. Like, that guy sucks. I don't know why you're dealing with him, And I always say these are the people who 90% of the time they want it to be me. It really had nothing to do with my talent. Is those people who are like, how come that guy gets to do this and I'm this or I'm that and I'm better? I should be getting that praise that he gets. And it comes from a place of hate more so than a look, if somebody doesn't like my voice, that's okay. I mean, there's a lot of people. I think Justin Timberlake can sing, but I'm not a fan of his voice. It doesn't appeal to me. And that's not to say that he's not a talented individual or not a talented singer, but everything isn't for everybody. Certain people like certain tones better. I mean, even in this Pain thing, there's people who like my voice over, Cito's growling graviton. They do a baritone. There's some people who prefer it,
Let me ask you, what was the worst thing that you remember or recall that they've said about you in regards to you as part of this group?
know that without me, he would be bigger.
Wow. So it is a Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty situation. I mean, I even got into that with you before. But the good thing about it is that I feel that you've surpassed that you are no longer quote unquote in the shadow. Just like Louis Marte, just like people that were seen as secondary in those groups, and now they're flourishing. You know,
Right.
they're in the spotlight and they're doing better on their own right now. And it's kind of a reversal, right? Like you don't hear from the other members of that group, the ones that were thought to be the Shawn Michaels, and then the ones that you thought didn't have talent, you see all that talent coming through and all the opportunities that they're taking to show. Like, for example, your duet with Jenny Renee, your singles run with Scars,
Yes.
and all these different things that have shown that you do have what it takes. You can do it on your own. Just like Louis Marte, being a producer or being a singles recording artist. It just shows that the cream always rises to the top, and no matter what adversity or no matter what CPR said, in the end you come up front. You know, you prove the naysayers wrong, and I'm glad that you did. By the way,
and what's funny is like you bring up Louis Marte. I never forget when Louis Marte approached me to do in my heart with him, and I will tell. It's a true story. When he approached me, he said, I think you'll be great for this song," and I'm like, "You talking about me?" I said, "I think you're looking for the other guy."
Right.
He's like, "No, it's you. I'm talking about you. I want your voice is the one." I'm like, "Yeah, but people mix this up all the time. Are you really sure you're looking for me?" And then he's like, "You're the guy who sings blah blah blah." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, you're the one that I want." I was like, "Oh, okay." But
and that's a good thing because you guys are, you know, it's great talent, right? That people didn't get to see, and then in the end, you guys got to show, and you're showing right now because you're both very active,
right.
And when you say that they responded in kind, does that mean that they agreed with what those people said, or you feel like they agreed with those thoughts?
Yeah, to a degree, because all right, then we go back to the history of when I told you, like, we talked about, you know, Payne and the 4 members and the 2 members.
Yeah.
And then for a brief time there was 1 member.
Right.
And it was like, you know, and I go back, you know, there's like things that like conversations people never been part of. I remember being 17 years old and unsure of taking this musical journey, and, you know, not realizing all the talent that I had outside of being a songwriter and a visionary. And I remember us having a conversation, and I said, "What if we make it to a label and they say, we just want you, we don't want the other guy?" And told me with a straight face, would never happen. I would never do that.
Right.
But
so move on.
But you know, but look, we came beyond all that. We forged out our own path, but I'm just saying these were things that were happening. That those are what those lines in the song are about. When I say, you know, when they said I was worthless, you know, you responded in kind because you let them fill you with poison, you know, treachery and lies.
Yeah, that was my next point was like, do you feel that your partner or partners were poisoned against you? Or were you pit against each other?
Yeah, more so that. I won't say like, you know, against me or poisoned against me, not that way, but it was like, you know, when you got a bunch of people in your ears and they're all telling you this is this, this is that, this is that, this is that, you know. And again, those things I'm not even angry about those things anymore at this point in my life. It's like but at that time it's kind of like, you know, you have a lot of anger, you have a lot of you know, like, what? How, you know, how's this like even happening right now? But, you know, it's a tough position to be in. So in some, you know, the realist in me, you know, you have to sympathize with being in that position a little bit when you think this is my shot, this is that. So there's a lot of things that go into that, and I'm mature enough to look at it from a different angle as opposed to, you know, the 22-year-old in me who's like, no, I'm ready to just like fight the world. You know, like, this is not cool. This is not happening. And, you know, I was very resentful. And again, it wasn't because I couldn't do my own thing, or I always, once I got to a certain point in my life, when I got on stage and I realized, like, when people would say things, I remember they were like, all these conversations we said about people saying, oh, that guy, he's no this, and I'm like, we would do shows and I go and perform my parts. They sang, they screamed just as loud. Mm-hmm. They didn't go, oh, that guy's part's on. So, those things all, of course, help to build my confidence, but also let me see, like, these are just a small fraction of people that are in the mix who are basically, tainting what we got going on. And probably if you didn't have all those people involved, things may have played out different at that stage. So they definitely played a part. I mean, ultimately decisions are who they're on, but those people played a part. Some of them were people near and dear to me. Like some people I consider like family who were doing this stuff, but it is what it is.
You use the word in this song, hubris.
Yeah.
What made you use that word hubris? I mean, it's like you're looking for a word, right? And you're like, I'm going to use hubris, and so people are like going into the dictionary, like, what is hubris? You know what I mean? Which, I wanted to make sure, I always make sure that people have it in context, in the right context. So I'm like, they have it in the right I'm like, hubris, excessive pride or self-confidence. Okay, he did it right. I went back and I listened to it, and
but hubris is deeper than that's. Like the small explanation of it. Hubris is kind of like the story of Icarus.
Yes,
flew too close to the sun, whatever. Because you figure like, oh, I can do what I want. I can keep going higher, and I use that line because in that part of the song, which goes with the story, it plays in the context of, I've been burned by you so many times that you still have the audacity to do certain things. And to me, that's like, no word fit better to me than hubris. The word hubris was already part of that song before I wrote it, if it makes sense.
No, it makes sense because you lived it. That's right. That's the only thing that you can use to describe.
And and honestly, for me, it's one of the only words that, for what I've gone through and what, things that I have inside of me, that because it's like hubris is the one word that, I mean, it encompasses it's just a true word. Like, it takes hubris, because balls don't cut it. Like, balls is not it. It ain't it. No.
Yeah, and that happens a lot now. People have a lot of hubris, right?
Oh my God.
People that have this way of pitting people against each other, so they can sit back, watch them destroy themselves, so they can get where they want to be. Even if it's 2 steps further, it was 2 steps further than they had before. Or, they'd rather burn anything that comes in their path. Some people's hubris burns the bridge before they build it. We talked about that before. You talk about Icarus getting burned and all that stuff. It reminds you of the movie Eternals, and I won't do a spoiler alert here, or a spoiler warning, but it happens in the movie as well.
Yes.
So it's a situation where it's a great word. It's just that I'm sure you have people running to get a dictionary or to try to get
or I always listen to it and say, will they know that I'm saying hubris, or will they like hear something else?
Yeah. And it happens in songs all the time too. To this day, I'm still trying to decode some of the words from Just Like the Wind by Peter Fontaine, and there are other songs that you try to decode that you still can't get. Devon, Alone in the Night. There's a word in there. I don't know.
You just can't make it out.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them like that.
It's in the break, gotta keep bumping it up. And the woman says something in the middle there. I have no idea. I start making it up, but I'm glad that you use hubris in the correct form. And as I keep breaking it down, then you go into like the main thing that really just punched me in the gut. And is this what the color of pain is supposed to be? And
it says supposed to mean.
Mean. I'm sorry. Supposed to mean.
Yeah.
I got that wrong. But is this
No, it's
what?
okay. It's okay. Still the
Hey,
same
good.
concept.
I'm glad we're here. I did my notes, but I'm glad I'm being corrected because I want to make sure when I sing it correctly. You know, it's the meaning behind the song. But that's the punch in the gut that got me and thought about how brilliant the song is. Like I put this in writing terms. I put that in the same writing terms that I put "Walking Away" by Rudy Fausto. That kick in the gut when he sees his son and his son
Yeah,
walks away from him. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like you're going through your journey from the beginning, and then you quote one of the songs that they sung, and then it's like boom, you did a callback to that song and what
Yeah.
that story on that song, which is another song that it's
Well,
brilliant too. You know what I mean? And it just comes all together.
and and before people think like, oh, that's messed up or this is that, right? Let me go back to we have a song. Well, Pain has a song called Pain,
Right.
and if you listen to that song, Hector says all of our songs in that song.
Yes.
He says, "I feel it in my heart every day."
Yes.
And you know that I know I'm the one to blame. He says all those in the same thing.
And
And
I think that's the reason why people like that appreciate writing, like Nick Cologne, the Menor Brothers, Fred Nice, all these people that are all, Fred Nice had a lot to do with the Walking Away song by Rudy Fausto. So like these are the people that like just sit back and start um, listening to these songs and decoding them. And that's the fun part about freestyle that I miss so much. The
yeah,
fact that people used to paint pictures in your mind and you would sit in your bedroom listening to that song over and over again. And for me, and I'm sure for Nick Cologne who's watching and for the Menor Brothers and everybody, like this is the type of song that has you thinking and sitting down and listening again. And I'm like, wow, the journey of this man or these men that we look up to or that we admire, and they're talking about, or Jenaro in this point in the song is talking about something so personal.
yeah. And I was and it's like one of the things like I had to do it, and it wasn't what it was born out of. I mean, there was a lot of things already in my head, but what the song really was born out of, it wasn't like I sat down and said, all right, I'm going to write this song about what I'm dealing with. I had it was like maybe for like 2 weeks at everything I was doing. So when is Pain getting back together? What about Pain and Pain? Oh, Pain and Pain's gonna get back together. Oh, you guys got to get back together. Oh, I know it's gonna happen. Oh, no, no, no. And I was like, and I was literally in my living room where I'm sitting right now, and I was walking around. And I was like, Pain, Pain, Pain. Don't talk to me about pain. And I was like, that might be a cool thing. And that's when I just started going to, don't talk to me. I just started doing that,
now can we talk about Pain?
Yeah.
So listening to the song and listening to you right now, does that mean that you have closed the door on going back to ever recording with your old partner, or have you closed the door to the group Pain?
Yes, Pain as we knew it will never be again. I know that's heartbreaking to many people, but it's even before certain things happen, when he quit the last time, I said to myself, people said, "Oh, he's going to come back again." And I literally said, "I hope he doesn't." I said because I can't do this anymore.
Right.
Because as I say in the song, I'm pouring everything I got into this. It's a hard road when you're tied to somebody else. And look, let's be fair. Maybe in some ways he didn't want to be tied to another person, and that's cool too. But I had a vision for us, and when I say that, like my vision was for Pain. My vision was never like a Jenaro thing. It was never that. Like I always was like, yo, I need my brother with me on this. We got to do this. We got to, this is how it is. Like I had these dreams for us. It was never like for my own personal fulfillment. I wanted to make us into this thing, and I wanted, because I always had this dream about us, and maybe my dreams for us was bigger than his dreams for us or for himself, and I can't force him to want to do anything. You can't, but at some point, it does become unfair. It becomes unfair to me, because it's like, all right, either you want to do it or you don't want to do it. It can't be this back and forth, back and forth. And for me, it's like, I never, I'm putting out the final Pain album, but that's been like hell on me to do, because he wouldn't, finish certain things or do stuff. And, I have commitments and stuff to do because of that reason.
The thing about it is, the freestyle community is the one that actually pushes this stuff, especially the IFC, right? The internet freestyle community. They like to push it. It's always been the TKA subject, the Pain subject, in a smaller world, a vocal limit subject, or to the max, or on point. And groups are meant to break up. There hasn't been a group that has never broken up or gotten back together or disbanded permanently. And it is a sad note to know that it may never happen again, or the door's closed. But we have to also understand that the story of Pain cannot be told by anyone other than Jenaro and Cito.
Of course.
And what happens is that a lot of people like to, they like to make their own story and put it out there as fact. It happened with TKA. It's happened with Pain. And I just want people to allow the artists themselves to tell their stories. And so that's why, as I stated previously, I was a little reluctant to talk about the group or the members of the group on the show, because I didn't want to make it seem like I was throwing a shot at them. I just wanted to break down the song that I thought, or I think, is brilliant, and how you ever get like I was watching Scream 2022, and you're always trying to figure out like who the killer is at the end,
right?
So listening to the song and finding out who the killer is in Scream, it gives me the same feeling. You know what I mean? The same feeling of a light bulb clicks in, and it's like, my God, I got it. And so I have to give you a compliment when it comes to the writing of Don't Talk to Me. And if you're a freestyle fan and you love stories, this is a song to pick up. Genaro's Don't Talk to Me is a great, great story. Thank you. Is there a part of the story that I missed that we should touch on? Because I didn't really touch on the end of it.
The second verse is it's very, very, very personal. I won't decipher it here. I'll let people they can kind of try to figure it out on their own. But I mean, it all goes hand in hand, because it says, once upon a time, I didn't see the truth of your lies right in front of me. The stain of your hubris. You desecrated the line. Betrayal of innocence and unspoken crime. I'm sure that, like I said, it's, that what I'm saying in that part of the song is why you will never see Pain on stage again together, because of those lines there. That is the reason. Other things could be, you want to say, maybe they could be smoothed over, they could be hashed out, they could be fixed, but those particular lines are deeper than myself. And you heard the the remix, the radio version?
Absolutely, yes.
And it has there's a bridge part in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that also goes, it says, the shame that you caused will go on beyond me. I know.
I let you break it down, because again, like it's brilliant. And again, having the D mic version and listening to the radio version and listening to the extended mix and just deciphering everything, it's the excitement of deciphering it. And it's like Nick Cologne got the I know who the Killer and Scream is when he contacted me. When he contacted me to let me know about the song, which I have, but because the last few weeks I haven't broadcasted CPR's Freestyle Countdown due to my dedication to the passing of Freddie the Eddie Rivera. I wanted to make sure that I dedicate 2 weeks of my show to him because he deserved it. And so when I got back to all the new music and what, counting the points for the countdown and seeing what's new and how everything's doing, and then Niccolo hits me up and he's like, "Yeah, listen to this." And then I'm listening to it. I'm like, "Wow!" Yeah. So we had to discuss it.
Yeah, because I was a little taken aback when you put the post like we got to talk about the writing on this song, and I was like, man, I showed him this song a long time ago. Like, where's the new angle? But now I get it.
No, the new angle is this. I'm putting a Rob Federici right now. You know what I mean? Like Rob Federici was
you heard it, but you didn't listen.
Yeah, I heard it, but I didn't listen.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it takes that much. And I want to commend all the artists right now painting pictures. There's a Marilyn Torres Torn. If you just sit down and listen to her, she is another person that paints pictures. Rudy Fausto, Jenaro. There are so many great people right now painting pictures.
And another reason why I wrote the song in the way that I wrote it was, again, because I wanted to also shut people up that thought I don't write like that. It's only Cito.
Right.
Only he can, write songs like, The Color of Pain or this and that. Like, I mean, we were writing partners forever. Like, we influenced each other. Like, people need to understand that.
I think that in this song you kind of one up them. And I say that because you reverted back to The Color of Pain. And then if people want to go back to The Color of Pain and you could break down Cito himself and his struggle, it's like everything's connecting together so you understand better how we ended up, with Pain being the way they are now.
Right.
And it's great to hear these great writers get together and put out great music, great stories, great pictures. Because when The Color of Pain was released years ago, it was everybody's favorite song. And now I want people to take a listen to Don't Talk to Me. And I want them to understand like the brilliance of this song as well. And also celebrate it as we celebrated The Color of Pain. Because it's just great. You did like a double killer at the end. You know what I mean? Like, and Scream, there's not only one killer, there's two. You know what I mean? So you did it in the beginning with the Fire and Ice, and then you ended it with The Color of Pain. And I was like, I'm good. This is awesome. So I wanted to break it down. But talk to me about Don't Talk to Me. How can the audience that's watching this right now get a copy of it?
It's available on all digital platforms that you could think of: YouTube Music, Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. I also have CDs that I'm doing pre-orders right now. I should be able to be shipping them out within the next few weeks. I should have my test press in a few days, and once I know that they're fine, I'm going to order my shipments, get them out, and yeah, just hit me up. I have the links posted for getting the CDs, but I'm always reachable on Facebook and Instagram, etc. And I'm one of the easiest people to hit up in this genre.
What's going to happen is I'm going to make it much easier for the people that are watching this right now. If you're watching this right now, the links are in the description, so it's very easy. All you do is click the link and order your copy. Which as soon as I click the link, and I'm going to order my copy because I need to have a physical copy of this. It's a very great song, and I hope that what happens with songs that are written very well is that because it's not, it doesn't have a hip hop beat and 47 breaks, and it has an intro outro that you can hip hop to, that is not appreciated. This is a deep song. I like to listen to the radio versions so I can get to the story, and then sometimes when I need a break so I can hear it again, I listen to the extended version so I can go back to the story, but it take a little longer to get there. It's great.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I couldn't have done it without Rob. I couldn't have done it without D Mike. But yeah, I conceptualized the whole thing. Like I said, the lines "Don't talk to me about pain" came to me here, and I was like, it'd be really cool to write a song where I'm talking about my group, but I'm also talking about the emotion of, because I mean that when I say that. That is a double entendre when I say don't talk to me about pain, because I'm not just talking about the group. I'm talking about the emotion, because what I've been through, it's heartbreaking, and you know, and I don't like to play victim, even though I have it tattooed on my arm. But it's I mean, the gist of the song in a nutshell, like when we get to the hubris thing, is like you just wonder, like, when you've done a lot of things negatively to somebody in a course of a lot in their life, and you think like, well, you already done so much wrong to somebody that you would never cross certain lines, because you already know that this person has been, for the most part, good to you, like, forever. And it's like, why? So it's like, I think at some point people think, well, I just keep taking a dump on them and it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And
Is there a positive spin that we can leave the audience with when it comes to that? We already know that there will be no reunion.
yeah.
Um, is there anything positive? Like, will you guys still be friends, or is there no friendship, or do you guys respect each other and are just mutually parted ways? Something positive that we can leave the audience with.
I wish I could tell you that, but we have not spoken to each other in 2 years and some change.
Wow.
Like, there's been no communication, and and it's it's a weird, what you call it, but it's more so, how can I explain it? Like I said, it's like the line was desecrated. It wasn't just that the line was crossed; it was desecrated. And this goes, and people are like, damn, this is like musical thing. No, it goes beyond like music. It goes, like I said, we had a relationship that transcended pain. That's what people think, like, need to think about pain, is like, no, we transcended that. We were beyond that. We were, way deeper than that. And it's just things, came to light and coincidentally, it had nothing to do with the quitting of the group or anything. Just some things people didn't even know that, and some things came to light, and it was just like, it's time to, I guess, just let this. It just has to be, because, like I said, the line, there was no line anymore. Like, the line had been crossed to a degree there was no coming back from.
Yeah. Well, Jenaro,
I wish I could say, hey, I wish I could say something positive. Well, I can say this much positive. There will be some final new pain music. And again, I don't want people to think like, you can't talk to me about pain. That's just a pun thing. Like, and it comes with the song. Like, I am always willing to talk about pain. That is a part of my life that, for most part, I'm extremely proud of. I was able to accomplish a lot. Like, me and Cito, we, like you said, we were a force in this genre, and we left a mark here that I am forever going to be proud of. Now,
well, I will say this, and I will leave a positive spin on this from my end. Payne was and always will be the MVP of Tazmania Records. You guys carry that label for a long time when everybody had gone. I'm sure that you had gone as well, because
yeah, I left for a few songs and then came back for the final volume, which is funny. And I wrote the damn song too.
Yes. I will always appreciate Tears of Time. I will always appreciate.
That's the one. Yeah,
I know. What was that? Volume 14.790.
Yeah, and that was one of the first. That was one of the first songs that I wrote that I ever felt was worth anything. But again, because I have good stories, about, like, me and Hex experience in our journey. I never forget. I I never really wrote songs down or anything like that. And then I was like, oh, we got to write songs. We're a group. And I wrote a couple of songs and they were just like, they were garbage. And then I come maybe like a week later, I come with this Tears of Time song. And he goes, how the hell did you go from that to this?
Hey, I love the group, but I dislike the rapping part. You know, come on, ma.
Come on, man. Too many times to Alibaba playing the sidelines where you got your way. Oh, hey, I didn't do it for you, but if you ever see me perform that song, you'll get it because people like it. So
yeah. And again,
I told you, I actually left that in there for my niece because I personally wasn't a fan of it, and to this day, I still like you. I still a little bit like it's grown on me because I've been performing the damn thing for 14 years.
Yeah, but come on, ma.
But I wasn't a fan. I even took it off when I mastered the album. It was gone, and I never forget. Hector's playing the mastered album before we sent it to press, and the song is on, and all of a sudden it just goes with the beat, and his daughter's like, "Where's Theo's part? What happened to Theo's part?" And he was like, "Oh, he took it out," and she was like, "But that's my favorite part." And I said to myself, I said, if a little girl can think that that's cool, then it's okay. And that's why I put it back.
This is a great song, everybody, and you need to purchase your copy.
Thank you.
Link, get a copy, CD, get a digital copy. Just play it, listen to it. It's a great story. Jenaro, thank you so much for being here on CPR's Clubhouse Live.
Thank you, man. Anytime, we can talk this music stuff all day. But this is a pleasure. I did want to, tell the story of my song, and I felt like this is probably one of the best places for me to do it. I appreciate you, again, and I want to just say this for the record. It is not a diss song. So I don't want people to start saying that it's a diss song. It's not a diss song. It is my life in music form. That's all. My musical life is not, every tidbit of who I am, but my journey in this, life of pain. That's all it is. So it's not a diss record. I don't want to see posts or get phone calls. Oh, he's dissing you, because that's not what
I mean. They already stopped watching at 20 after,
Yeah.
I mean? We got to the end,
That's it. They're already on the phone. They're already starting issues, and people are going live, and but it's not.
You said this. I love it. It always happens. But thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert. Jenaro, Don't Talk to Me, number 9 this week on CPR's Freestyle Countdown.
Oh, I made it. I'm in the big time now.
That matters.
I'm in the big time now. I was wondering if I was going to make it on there, so that's some good news.
Yeah, listen, I think Nick Colon voted for you 1,000 times. So.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Colon.
Talk to him.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Colon. He hit me up and he was like, it was brilliant. He was like, my writing. He's like my vocal delivery, the vulnerability, and again, that's one thing that I'm also proud of, because there's a method to my madness. Because I was like, okay, when I did Scars, that was for the people who say, oh, that guy doesn't sing that good, or he doesn't this and that. So Scars was that song. This song was okay, let me show them that I do this writing thing, and
the vulnerability shows that this is not a diss track. The vulnerability shows that this is an emotional, personal story.
Yeah, it's a sad story, but it's got a happy ending.
Much luck to you, and we'll be here to support you, and can't wait to keep playing Don't Talk to Me. Get your copy now. Look at the
appreciate it.
It's right now in the link down below.
Click it. You got it. Click it. And tell a friend to tell a friend.
We'll talk soon.
All right, bro. Peace.